Number 3. How much interest is earned on what by an account containing 15,000 if it gets 6% simple interest? This one is pretty stinking simple, but if you know what to do. You guys know what interest is? Let's start with that. Will, can you define it? Give your own definition. You don't have to be.
Pretty much if you have an amount, say you have an amount of money in the bank and they give you interest on it, pretty much they take a percent of the money, say per year, and then basically add that to the account.
Yeah. So if you invest money, it could be in the bank or stocks, bonds, whatever. The extra earnings that you get is called interest. Or if you borrow money, the extra money you have to pay the bank or whoever the loan is called interest also. So interest could be good for you if you're investing. It could be bad for you if you're borrowing. But it's a percentage of how much you borrowed and how long you borrow it for. That's where interest comes from. So simple interest just means you're getting paid or you're paying once a year. I guess this one's an investment. So anyway, if you invested $15,000 and you get 6%, then you just have to figure out what 6% of $15,000. How do you change 6% into a decimal?
6.06.
0.06. So you just move the decimal place back twice. So normally 6 is like 6.0. So if you move the decimal back twice, it's just 0.06. It's not really an equation or a algebra thing with this problem. I don't know why they
put it in fraction forms.
No, we're talking about money, so the best form is decimal. And if we had more than 2 decimal places, there shouldn't be a decimal in this one, by the way, but if we had more than 2 decimal places, we'd round it off to the nearest penny. What did that come out as, you guys? 900 bucks. So if you invested $15,000 and you're supposed to get 6% interest, you should have an extra $900 at the end of your year.
That's like, I feel like every year.
Well,
Then that
a bank account is going to give you less than 1%. So you might get a few dollars, not $900. But if you have a good investment, like in a stock or something, you might get a good return, like 900 bucks.
So,
Banks are safe because you can get your money out anytime you want to. But a stock, you could lose your money, so.
So higher risk, higher reward,
It is.
whereas the bank has less risk and less reward.
If you have a savings account, it's your money. You can get it whenever you want, but you still get a little bit of interest on it. There are other kinds of investments
isn't that
like.
why most people start their money in like some really like a savings account or nothing?
Yeah, savings account.
Maybe
Some
credit
chick.
as soon as possible as well.
There are other investments in banks called CDs where you have a penalty if you take it out early, but you get more money if you leave it in. Anyway, you can ask, who's your personal finance teacher? You can ask them all about that.
We take that next year.
That's next year.
Mr.
Mr. Totino. Next year, Mr. Totino. All the joy. Okay, number 4. How much interest is earned 1 year from 3,000 getting 4% and 2,500 getting 6%? So it's the exact same thing. The only difference is there's 2 different.
Answers.
Well, you just add the 2 different things together. So you're getting. I lost my place. 4% from $3,000. So what's 4% as a decimal?
0.04.
Plus you're getting 6% from 2,500 bucks. So you just have to add those. That'll give you your total earnings.
Wait, so you do them or just, oh wait.
Just add them together.
And did you get to put dollars on it after?
I'm not gonna grade for a dollar symbol, no. But technically, yes, we're talking about dollars. Okay, number 5, how much salt is in 50 gallons of a 3% salt solution? What do you think they mean, a 3% salt solution? 3% of it is salt. So it's some kind of liquid, I don't know, maybe it's just water. But 3% of that liquid is actually, or of whatever's in your barrel or whatever is actually salt. So if we have 50 gallons and 3% of it is salt, how do we find out how much salt there is? Right. If you want 3% of something, then you need to do 3% times that something. So it's just multiply again.
Do you like decimals?
Yeah, stick with decimals.
Is that one?
Yeah, this one should have a decimal on
Are
it
you writing X for the multiplications?
1.5 gallons.
because it's easiest to see. Yeah, one.
Just the dollars, like.
You can eat.
Okay.
Okay, number 6. What is the strength percent concentration of salt? So it's kind of like related to number 5. 30 kilograms of salt solution with 1.2 of it is salt. Okay, so in other words, we got a 30 kilogram container and 1.2 of that is salt. What percent is salt?
This time you're going to just do it.
So probably think of it like a fraction. 1.2 out of 30 is salt. What percent is that? How do we change that to a percent? Right. A fraction bar is also a division bar. That's why they look identical. So you just divide 1.2 divided by 30.
0.04, which translates to 4%.
Okay, right. It asks for a percent, so don't leave it as 0.04. Change it to 4%.
How much salt in the last one? So that would be 10 times point.
Number 7 is basically number 5, but there's 2 of them. Same as number 5 though. So we got 11% of a 10 gallon is salt. So I'm gonna what's 11% as a decimal? 0.11. So that's how much salt is in the first thing. And then we got more salt in the other thing, which is 7% of your 6 gallon. So plus 7% of 6. And that would give you the total salt. So it's kind of a repeat of number 5. You guys can just do that on your own. You can figure it out. Okay, number 8 says the measure of an angle is 1/4 the measure of its supplement. Oh boy, back to geometry. Let's see if you guys remember. Does anybody remember what supplement meant?
90 degrees?
Huh?
It's 180.
It's related to 180. Okay, if this is my angle X,
It's the other side.
the supplement is whatever adds up to 180 with this angle. So supplementary angles should add up to 180. So if I call one angle X, what could I call its supplement? Like let's say this was 80 degrees.
X times 3.
4x.
What would this be over here?
4x.
No.
X times
Okay, pause. They have to add up to 180. If this was 80, what would this be?
180 minus 80, 100.
180 minus 80, 100, right? If this was 50 degrees, what would this be?
130.
180 minus 50, 130. If this is x degrees, what would this be?
X minus 180.
You said it backwards. 180 minus x.
Oh, yeah.
So when it says an angle, we're going to put an x in there. When it says the complement of that angle, we're going to call it 180 minus x. Okay, let's read the problem again. Number 8, or 7, no, 8. 8 says the measure of an angle. So what do we put for that? X. That's our x. Is. What does is mean? Equals. 1/4. You guys know what 1/4 is, so let's write that in there. 1/4 the measure of. What does of mean? Times. The supplement. What are we using for supplement? The supplement? This thing. So I want to do 1/4 times that, so I'm going to put all that in parentheses. Find the measure of each angle. So each angle being x, the original angle, and 180 minus x, the supplement.
What would you straight
Okay, yes, we could use distributive property. It's kind of back to yesterday, right?
45 and.
Remember, yeah, 1/4 times x is just 1/4 x. Alright, we have x's on both sides. And remember how we did that? That's the very end of yesterday's. What do I do if I have x's on both sides? You want to get rid of them on one side. How could I get rid of minus 1/4 x?
Add 1/4 x, so 1.25 x.
Whoops,
Or just
thinking ahead there. Okay, what's x plus 1/4 x? 1 and 1/4, 1.25, 5/4 x. I'll just put 1 and 1/4. Doesn't really matter.
So it's 45 divided by 50, which is
Right, it's 45 divided by 1 and 1/4. Or it might be easier to plug in 1.25 for that. 45 divided by 1.25.
36.
Okay, so that means our little angle is 36. What would its supplement be? 180
36
minus 36.
144.
I'll just put comma 144. It's kind of hard because all these are kind of different, aren't they? Do I want to do 9? Or just maybe I'll jump ahead because we're kind of running out of time. 10 is kind of good. Oh, fine. We'll just keep going. 9. All right. When a number is added to the numerator, what's numerator mean? The top. Okay. So we're adding some number to the numerator. So I just call it plus n. And what else did it say? And subtracted from the denominator. So what should I write for that? Minus n. Same number. The new fraction is equal to 3/2. We use this trick some in geometry. Any ideas? You guys remember how to solve 2 equal ratio, 2 equal fractions? I'm just making something up over here. You guys remember how we solve this? No?
cross multiplication.
Cross multiply, good.
Oh,
It was like 4x equals 8 times 5.
so you could do,
So it's 2 times all that stuff,
but you can do,
12 plus n or n plus 12, equals 3 times all that stuff. Let's keep it the same, I guess.
Oh.
Oh. What should I do? Distribute 2 times, 2 times n plus 24 equals, that would be 39 minus 3 times n. Okay, I see n's on both sides.
so do minus 2n.
Plus 3n or minus 2n, get rid of them on one side. Now it's looking kind of normal.
3.
So just do the normal stuff. Subtract 24. 5n equals 15. What's 15 divided by 5? Was that the answer? Kind of forgot what we were doing, to be
Yes.
honest.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Asking what the number
It was asking the number, so yeah, that is the answer.
So n equals 6.
Make sure you look at what the question is. Sometimes that when you solve for the variable, that's not the final thing. But in this case, they were asking what number is being added and subtracted. So I only put 1 through 14. Okay, number 10, Jorge uses 114 feet of fencing to enclose a rectangular garden whose length is 21 feet longer than its width. Anytime you have a shape, I recommend you draw it. So a rectangle says it is, one of the important lines, the length is 21 longer than the width. So if I call the width W, the width is usually the short side. What could I call the length?
W plus 21.
Right. So what would this top one be?
W plus 21.
What would the left be? W, because it's a rectangle.
And all that combined.
Okay, it says all this is supposed to be fence. And how much fence did we have? 114 feet. So how are these related to the 114?
When you add them together, they
Right. All together, they should add up to the how much fence we have. So all these should add up to 114. So it's W plus W plus W plus 21 plus W plus 21 equals 114.
Does it have to be W?
How many W's do we have? What doesn't matter. 4W. But it does remind me that that is the width. Plus,
42.
and now we got a basic algebra problem. So W stands for the width, but I'm guessing they're asking me for both dimensions, the width and the length. So after we find W, we're not quite done yet. What would that be? 72 divided by 4. Okay, once I know
So then
W, the width is 18, how do I find the length?
Add 21.
W plus 21, so plus 21. I'll just call it L equals.
So then-
Get a new toy for me.
So then add those two together and
It's just
then.
believing.
No, those are the dimensions.
Those are the dimensions. Dimensions being like this, those are dimensions.
Oh, so we only have to find the width and the length, not the perimeter.
The perimeter is 114, that's how much, that was the fence. Ninja skills. Number,
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
We only have.
I kind of do want to do 11 and 12, but we might just do it at the beginning of tomorrow. Cause we do need to like do maybe even 14 actually. Screwing up my
So
plans.
do we just leave them? Like,
Just hold on to it, we'll finish it tomorrow.